thought it would be fun, you know?
A silly little test.
I never saw.
The truth.
That would destroy everything!
Stories Hub, the home of real stories. Hey everyone. So, the other night, I did something a little random. You know those DNA ancestry tests? I finally ordered one. Honestly, just curious. My family history always seemed pretty simple, so I was just hoping for a fun surprise, like a tiny bit of Viking in me or something. It just seemed like a harmless impulse, or so I really thought. The whole process was surprisingly simple. A little cheek swab, pop it in a tube, and off it goes. I remember dropping the little box into the mailbox on my way to work, giving it a final tap for good luck. I honestly didn't think about it again for weeks. Life was good, you know. My relationship with my parents was solid. We're a close family, always have been. There were never any secrets, or so I believed. And then weeks later, completely out of the blue, the email arrived. I was just catching up on work, and there it was in my inbox, the subject line in bold. Your ancestry results are ready. I remember feeling that little thrill, you know? That jolt of anticipation. The little Viking joke came back to me and I smiled. I clicked on it without a second thought, ready to finally uncover the quirky, forgotten details of my heritage. The ancestry breakdown was fine. Nothing too surprising. A lot of Irish, a bit of German, basically what I'd always been told. I was smiling, scrolling through the percentages, feeling pretty satisfied. But then, I kept scrolling down, past the maps and the ethnic origins, and I saw a section I wasn't expecting. A section labeled DNA family matches. And that's where everything started to get weird. The first thing I looked for, naturally, was my family. It listed close relatives, you know, parents, potential siblings. And there they were, my mom, Sarah, listed under mother, thank goodness. But then I looked for my dad, Mark, and his name wasn't there. Instead, listed under father was someone else. A name I had never, ever seen before in my entire life. And the percentage of shared DNA, it was exactly what you would expect for a biological father-child relationship. That's when the cold dread really started to sink in. My heart just started pounding in my chest. A full-on panic attack. My first thought was that it had to be a mistake. A glitch in their system, a swap sample, anything but the truth. It just couldn't be real. My dad, Mark, he's my dad. He taught me how to ride a bike. He was there for every scraped knee and every high school play. I know him. I even look like him, don't I? I started tearing through old photo albums, spreading them all over the dining room table. I was just looking for proof, for anything that made sense. I put my baby pictures next to pictures of my dad when he was young. I saw his eyes in mine, my smile in his, didn't I? I tried to find some logical explanation. Maybe it was a distant relative with the same name? But the results were so specific, the percentage a perfect match. The word father, it just stared back at me from the screen, making a liar out of every photo I held. As the hours ticked by, my mind just raced, grasping at any possibility that wasn't betrayal. Could my parents have used a sperm donor? It seemed impossible. They were so traditional, so open about everything. I never felt like anything was hidden. But I dove into the internet anyway, reading articles, forum posts, stories of other people whose lives were turned upside down by these tests. It was never something that seemed like it could be a part of my family story. Mom.
Hey, everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine too. Listen, I just had a really random question about when I was born. Everything was natural, right? And no complications or anything negative as well, or any help involved. Well, that's what I thought. Thanks, Mom. I gotta go. Talk to you later. Mom, hey, you know those DNA tests that everyone's doing? I took one, just for fun, to see if I had any surprise ancestors.
How fun, dear. What did it say?
Well, the ancestry part was fine. Irish, German, all the usual stuff. But there was a section about family matches, and it was a little unexpected.
Unexpected? In what way, honey?
It listed another man as my father. Someone named Jonathan Miller. Mom, who is Jonathan Miller?
Oh, Anna. There's something I should have told you a long time ago.
My mom took a shaky breath and confessed that Mark, my dad, the man I've known my whole life, he wasn't my biological father. Years and years ago, before she and Mark were even married, she had a brief relationship with someone else. Someone she described as just a fleeting moment, a youthful indiscretion that she thought was long buried and forgotten. So my dad, Mark, he doesn't know. All this time, he had no idea.
We agreed. Anna, we were so young. We agreed it was best to just leave it in the past. He loves you so much. Please, you have to believe that. He has always been your father in every single way that matters.
Dad, can I talk to you for a second?
Of course, sweetheart. What is it? You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
I just have something I need to ask you. Something really, really important.
Anna, you can ask me anything. You know that. What's wrong?
I finally built up the courage to tell him. The words felt like stones in my mouth. I watched his face as I spoke. I took a DNA test, just for fun, and the result says you're not my biological father. I saw the exact moment his world broke. He didn't get angry. He didn't yell. He just shattered. His reaction, it broke my heart and healed it at the same time. I had been so terrified of destroying him, of destroying us. But in that moment, all he saw was his daughter. He was hurt, I could see that, betrayed even. But his love for me was so completely and utterly unconditional.
Anna, you're my daughter. You will always be my daughter. Nothing can ever change that.
But after the tears and the hugs, a new kind of quiet settled in. The truth had been revealed. A secret that had been buried for 30 years had suddenly come to light. And it had shaken the very foundations of everything I thought I knew about my family, about myself. Every happy memory now had a question mark next to it. And then I realized there was another person out there. A complete stranger who was half of me. Someone I was biologically connected to, whose name was just a word on a screen. Did I want to know him? Did I have a right to? And was I prepared for what I might find if I went looking? And in the middle of all this chaos, I started to see something clearly for the first time. This silly little DNA test, it did destroy a certain version of my family history. But in its place, it revealed a deeper, more powerful truth. A truth about loyalty, about choice, and about what it really means to be a family. It wasn't about blood. It was about the unbreakable bond one shared with Mark, the man who raised me. And that's where my story stands for now. This unexpected journey has taught me so much about love, family, and the secrets we keep. The questions are still there, waiting for answers. What would you do? Have you ever had an unexpected DNA discovery? Share your thoughts below, because the truth is, the journey is far from over. The story isn't over. What happens when she clicks that button? The search for her biological father, the secrets he might hold, that's the next chapter to be the first to see how this story unfolds. Hit the like button, and then click on our logo right here to subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss episode 2. Thank you for watching.